was very unprepared for this for several reasons. So sorry if I'm looking at my phone quite a lot. But yeah, Ross set me up perfectly the other day because Mary Slessor was another missionary who was born and raised in Scotland, in the town of Aberdeen. She was born in 1848. And ever since a young age, she had a lot of responsibility. She was one of 7. Her oldest brother died when she was quite young, so she had a lot of responsibility being the eldest child. And due to his death, Mary's father developed a severe alcohol problem, so there were a lot of issues in their family, and this caused a huge strain and many problems at home. Her childhood was spent living in extreme poverty and just conditions you find hard to believe if you couldn't read it on the page, which I have been. But she was part of a working class family, so she obviously had to be part of that. She didn't get an exception as a child. And this meant she didn't really consider her relationship with God very much because she was so focused on her circumstances. She was trying to provide for her family even though she was only like 13, 14. And although at the time Mary considered herself not to be a religious person, church was a welcome relief for her. It was like a break she could have. She didn't have to work, she didn't have to put up with her home life. So she would often find that as just a time to relax. She wouldn't really go there to find out about God or anything. Like her mother, she was a very big influence in Mary's life. She would often talk to her about God, but Mary wasn't really interested in that kind of thing. She just wanted to go to church and kind of chill out. But part of her motivation for going to church was to read the missionary section in the church's magazine. She'd always wanted to be a missionary to go to Africa, but it was more of a childhood fantasy than anything. She wanted to experience the adventure and excitement of going to another country rather than out of a desire to serve God and live her life to Him. But after being patiently witnessed to by a neighbour, Mary decided to commit her life to the Lord at the age of 14. And while she still wanted to be a missionary, her motivation was now very different for going, because instead of the adventure, she wanted to go to spread the gospel. Both her elder brother, who died when she was young, and her younger brother, who sadly died later, they were training for the mission field, actually. And even though it was something she still thought a lot about as she grew older, Mary dismissed the idea for a while until women weren't widely accepted in the mission field. And she was encouraged by a lot of people to stay at home and stick to local stuff, really. But she continued to seek God's will and started to realise that God's plans are never limited by the obstacles that man puts in place. Although she never had the chance to meet David Livingstone, he was someone that Mary greatly looked up to because he was also raised in Scotland under circumstances that she could relate to. And she was encouraged by the fact that a lot of his education was self-taught. While she was inspired by him, it was definitely God she allowed to influence her decisions. And almost exactly a year after David Livingstone's death, Mary Slessor applied to be a missionary to Calabar, or what is known today as Nigeria. The journey to Africa wasn't easy. There's many details that are quite horrific, actually, and it definitely didn't get easier when she was there. But Mary took comfort in knowing that it was her purpose for being there is God's will for her life. And this filled her with a sense of peace and gave her the drive to spread the gospel in an area that was widely known to be a death sentence for many missionaries. A lot of missionaries went there and then as soon as they got there, just came home, but she didn't. She stuck it out. She was widely known for her bright red hair and fiery personality, which is quite stereotypical Scottish people. This obviously made her a centre of attention with the local people, but what really made her stand out was her decision to live just like they did. She lived in mud huts, even though she had the option as a missionary to live in her own lodgings and have her every need taken care of. She realised that this would put an obstacle between her and the people she tried to reach. And being raised in the slums of Dundee made her a very resourceful and determined person. So it prepared her for these conditions when a lot of missionaries were used to a life of luxury. So this is actually an advantage in a way. But by being willing to live the same lifestyle as the local community, Mary gained their respect. And I've read that she had a lot more opportunities to reach them, and she chose a life of luxury. Or even to make it a bit easier, but she chose to do God's will instead. even outside of Christian circles, she's widely known for her work with slavery and against sacrificial rituals that were extremely popular in the area. Twins often were sacrificed due to superstitious beliefs, and this was something that she was deeply committed to stopping. She adopted many twins herself, actually. And what I noticed when I was reading a lot of articles is that they left out God's hand in it. But I mean, if it wasn't for God, she wouldn't have even been there to do that work. So, yeah. That's it. I'm sorry, I didn't get to say much more. But she was definitely an amazing person. I'm definitely not doing her justice. So you should definitely read more about her.